extremely good nowadays in the bottom lane. Nami is probably the top of all of those sustained supports because she adds so much other forms of utility to the team.
Yep.
Engages, disengages, knockups for Yasuo. Or for anybody.
Yeah, I mean, you even saw CLG ban Tristana against Complexity because they're like, the Tristana
breaking
Yasuo.
up the synergy.
Yeah, I mean, heck, if you're going to ban something, I think it's a great ban to put up against Robert there. But Yasuo also gets removed. Voyboy, of course, known to love that champion a bunch. So they not only dropped 2 knockups, but they also dropped Yasuo himself. So they're really making sure Yasuo comps are not going to work this game.
Yeah. One of the things on 410 that I'm not particularly happy about is how really the only interesting bans come from blue side, and most of the red-purple side bans have been Kassadin into Kale into either Lulu or one of these other main champions that's left open. It's pretty much on blue side to determine what the landscape of the game will be.
We'll see what it ends up being. I don't know, I'm still a fan of teams that let a bunch of them up and just pick 2 for themselves. You got 3 top-tier picks. Red side gets 2 of those if no one bends them out. I'm personally not a fan of that strategy, but I understand the teams employ it, so I trust them here. Jax does come through for Dyrus, and speaking of champions, and Dyrus playing things he's played a lot, Dyrus was an original Jax player from back in beta. I don't think his win rate's actually very high on it this split of LCS, but the champion knows quite well.
Funny because I was just talking to him and he says, I hate playing the Jax and Renekton matchup. And I was like, oh yeah, when you're Jax? And he was like, from either side. Because late game, it feels really bad for Renekton if you have to split push against Jax. But early game, Jax gets wailed on. Actually, there's a lot of pressure as well on the Renekton early game because there's this expectation that you're going to pretty much dumpster this Jax early. And there's a lot of pressure drawn to your lane. Maybe junglers are going to try and interfere with the 1v1. So actually, it definitely does cause both members in the matchup to sweat a little bit. We'll see if Curse actually try and answer that matchup because Renekton definitely does have a huge upper hand against Jax in that matchup early.
Yeah, see if Quas wants to do it. I gotta figure he's used to sweating and that their logos of flame, so like heat is normal for these guys.
That's a stretch.
I know.
That is a stretch.
So he's picking Zac, that's what you're saying. Ziggs picked up here for Voyboy in the mid lane. Hop's gonna get Lucian for himself. All the AD carries available, he wants that one still.
Leeson was banned out, so amazing immediately going to Elise. I like that for them. He has had struggles of his own with jungle champion pools, and this is 410. Definitely Elise and Lee Sin still king and queen of the jungle. I'm strong to lock that one in when you do have such a volatile top lane. You want someone to be able to protect your Jax early. Elise will have pressure on the map somewhere. So even if you do sacrifice your Jax, then she should be able to get something done elsewhere on the map.
Elise definitely one of the most volatile junglers. See if she can make some good ganks happen. Curse now to make their own choices. These teams have split off and basically picked one from each role. So everyone got the top tier they wanted from everywhere else. Now everyone can kind of pick their uncontested picks and just fit their comp because they know there's no more contested picks here.
The Lucian is early is kind of interesting because the AD carry pool has diversified so much, and so many people have been going with the Kog'Maw, and even Corki sometimes over Lucian. WildTurtle especially loves Corki, loves that mid-game power spike. The hover over would tell you differently, though.
Yeah, might love Caitlyn more.
Caitlyn a bit more late game. Maybe they need just to go full late game with Jax plus Caitlyn. Curse have already got that Ziggs, though. Strong at defending versus split push teams, so as soon as the Jax is locked in, they wanted to get some sort of wave clear.
Yeah. And I like Ziggs against Jax in general. It's very easy to get the damage done onto him. He's got a block for a lot of his damage.
If you're Soaz, you like that even in a 1v1 matchup, top lane. So maybe this is a super trick by Curse here.
Hey man, Fnatic went 4-0.
Style. Yeah.
They 4-0s. You can't hit on that one too much. Morgana, Elise, Evelyn, all been picked up there. I keep getting those names wrong. I meant Evelyn. The hover on the Twisted Fate is coming through for Bjergsen. So TF, what, 3 games so far in 5? Heavy emphasis on that champion. Kate does come through for a lot of long-range ultimates here. Try to pick people off. Hooks as well, cocoons as well. And Dyrus can just be a Jax. That's fine.
So Twisted Fate with an Elise early is pretty strong as well. Twisted Fate just in general against Evelyn, I do like that. Because even though Evelyn could sneak into a lane undetected and go for a gank, once she gets there, she's definitely extremely susceptible to crowd control. TF can counter gank Evelyn extremely well.
Yeah.
Not to mention you're just getting vision of her, but the lockdown that TF brings when he does join the party can really turn that around. And anytime you have a team that relies on split pushing like Jax, it's always nice to have Twisted Fate to help facilitate that and shore up any weaknesses.
It's funny how much of TSM's squad, I mean, it's really only 2 of 5, is like the old best in beta champions, TF and Jax. Everyone who played in 2009 has nightmares of those two.
Oh, yeah.
And it's back. TSM playing it a little bit old school. Renekton does come through here for Quas, so no really funny business. But there's that matchup we talked about saying, you know what? It's really on Quas to make things happen, to push Dyrus down and put him in the dumpster.
Especially with an Evelyn. I mean, solo lanes already with Evelyn on the field got to play a little bit more defensively just by default. So Jax, if he does go for the 1 vs 1 with Renekton, is going to have to play on his back foot. Probably not anything new there for that matchup. You'd be expecting to receive a CS deficit. Lane swap's a definite possibility here.
That's true, actually.
Anytime you have a Lucian Morgana, it's very annoying to get hit by one of those. One of those bindings can really ruin your day and just destroy your whole lane.
Yeah.
Could avoid that whole situation, go for the lane swap, avoid 2 of those matchups with 1 move.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I think Thresh can hold up to the matchup, but you definitely got room for outplays on both sides. We're going to see what happens, of course. Now, we're creatures of habit, so let's pop over to LOR Esports and see who you think will come out on top. 84% of the vote says TSM's going to win, and I think the records kind of indicate that as well.
And of course, you can keep tweeting your votes throughout the game at LOL Esports and use the hashtag TSMWin or CRSWin. Remember that the rule for voting, some is good, more is better. And too much is just right. That doesn't make any sense.
I mean, is there such a thing as too many votes?
No, because we continually tabulate them all.
I mean, the good thing is we're in America, the land of democracy, where everyone can vote and have their own opinions. I think it's only fitting you guys should embrace your freedom and vote on LOL Esports. I couldn't keep going with that one.
No, I was enthralled. Yes. Now you have to point at the camera. What can LOL Esports?
What can LOLesports.com do for you? Bring you awesome League of Legends coverage. Get ourselves into the game. Look at that one. Beautiful transition. We only saw one rise today, though. Poe Belcher, the only true American
It's supposed to be, what can you do for LOLesports.com?
Vote on Twitter.
There you go. There we go.
Yay, we made it all happen. And the crowd cheering as well for their favorite players. Get ourselves going on this one. TSM flooding out of the blue side.
Oh, what in the scrying orb?
Nice.
Start here for Bjergsen. I've been pretty happy ever since all the AD carries have, you know, sort of realized that Scrying Orb is the superior trinket, and they've been getting it pretty much by 20 minutes every single game.
Yeah.
But now, Bjergsen one-ups the AD carries here.
What you confirmed?
Yeah, what you can do, though, he might break my heart here. Just use the Scrying Orb for the invade, then go back to base and sell it. However, they're not grouped up. Looks like he will be keeping it.
So far, yeah. That's going to be fun. Actually, here's the thing, actually. I thought of a thing. It is easier
what kind
to...
of thing? Is it red? Is it big? Bigger than a bread box?
No. It's actually the blue trinket. I'm just continuing on the blue trinket thing. Although Evelyn is blue and bigger than a bread box, so it's close. We should need a white champion, then we're good. We have all the colors confirmed for the American flag. But so it is difficult.
You're white.
Great, we're done. We've solved it all. No, so it's hard to award for Evelyn, right? But if you can blue trinket when she's clearing camps, you know where she is.
So you
more range on blue trinket.
Yeah, you just have to guess which camp she's at. And
1 in 4.
And then you just have to keep it in your head and plan out what route she's going to go on. But yeah, that is a good point. Being able to Scrying Orb the camps. Now, Scrying Orb level 1, the actual initial version of the trinket, very short range. So I haven't actually ever played mid lane with it. Not quite sure if you can reach all the way up to double golems. He can definitely hit the buffs though from mid lane.
It's 2500 range, so he could like almost reach red buff from where he stands right now.
Yeah, if he swings up to that side a little bit. All right, red buffs start here for Evelyn though. Means she will finish double buffs and level 3 down on the bottom side. Might want to get that bottom lane going quickly because bottom lane is one of the lanes that's extremely easy for Evelyn to gank. And as we said, if one of those stray bindings hits at the inopportune moment for TSM. Yeah, Turtle just watches that minion die. That's
They got 3 CS in the first wave.
the groan from
Actually,
the crowd,
2.
actually.
Gleeb picks one up. There we go. Use his... Oh! The binding on a WildTurtle.
What a shot. So the early lane phase actually for Gleeb and Turtle, not going so hot. That is one thing that even the coach there for TSM has said, you know, this bottom lane has been stepping up a lot for TSM. In the mid game, in the team fights. The only thing left for them, though, improve on that laning phase a little bit.
One issue, though, is Cop and Xpecial have had a pretty hard time this season, though.
It's true. That being said, you know, they are shoving in Cop and Xpecial. So they do sort of have control of the wave. And Caitlyn always likes to work with a large minion wave because she's so strong at harassing you under your turret. Not only does she force you to try and CS under your turret, which is already a little stressful, but she's going to be adding a damage and harass while you're doing it.
One thing to keep in mind. Right now, Bjergsen and Voyboy squaring off in the mid lane. And it's a 1 minion difference. Waves are cleared, and they're holding equal so far. Little push from Ziggs not meaning too much. Of course, IWillDominate, there's pretty much no way they know where he is at this point. They've had no wards watching his paths.
Yeah, Scrying Orb was used by Bjergsen. Swing and a miss.
Yep, he saw the Wraith Camp was dead, so he was top within the last 50 seconds.
Let's see if you told Dyrus here. I missed out.
Ooh, level 4.
So Dyrus, yeah, like I said, Dyrus already wants to play this matchup very defensively, even without the Evelyn. But with her, he's definitely going to try and hug his turret.
Amazing on a ward, but good satchel charge.
Voyboy gets off the laugh as well.
Might as well.
It's always good to taunt the jungler. Make them feel bad about ganking your lane. Sometimes it just angers them, though.
And they'll camp you.
Again, though, recall for Dominate, headed back towards this top side. It might just be clearing top down, though, going from double golems. No action early. Surprised he hasn't tried to pressure mid himself either, because usually liking to pressure that TF before he even gets level 6. As of right now, Bjergsen's on a fairly good clip to hit that level 6 and go for the early gank.
5 just now. He's just a couple waves away. Interesting thing for Dyrus is he didn't back and get any potions. He got double Dorans and a longsword. So if Quas does get a good trade, Dyrus has 4 minutes till TP comes back up with no other way of gaining health. That's a pretty decent risk.
However, if he is able to stay healthy until Bjergsen hits level 6, as soon as Bjergsen hits 6, he can swing up to that top side and gank Renekton, because Renekton will constantly be pushing Jax in. He's very vulnerable to that TF answer. And if Jax gets a kill on Renekton early in that matchup,
oh yeah,
things go down poorly for Curse later in the game.
Speaking of things going down poorly, you're seeing how far back their dual lane has to play right now. WildTurtle farming up nicely. 9 minion lead, and into the turret they go. Elise will not be helping them with the dive or anything, so Cop will do his best to last hit under turret. Get some of these, miss some others.
His best is not good enough. It seems.
Used again.
Scrying Orb once again, constantly checking race. Hey,
Dominate's right there.
Dominate says,
don't worry,
right,
I got you.
Swing and a miss number 2. I'll give you a freebie.
Gets a bunch of gold for it. I don't know how free that was. It cost him like 250 gold.
Oh, Scrying Orb, too many misses there for Bjerg. Switches over to the Sweeper.
Would you say he's crying about how bad his accuracy was?
Nope. That was an
audible no.
Emphatic no from the audience. Survey says...
Well, Quas first to 6 up here.
No, there's actually no wards for Quas either, so it doesn't even take a TF gank. It could easily be amazing going up there, but he just assumes that that Quas has proper ward coverage, does not make the trip. Amazing has been trying to catch up here and farm to dominate, because neither of them have had success with the attempted ganks. Jax, though, Dyrus in this matchup, I don't know why he was saying he doesn't like it that much, because he's done pretty well for himself so far. Staying even with Renekton thus far is something in itself.
Well, he's going to recall once again, matching Renekton's back. Quas will not TP for that, but Dyrus still has a minute and a half to go on his. So there's a chance that Curse can rush down the dragon with the top laner advantage. Dyrus is going towards his phage right here and finally has potions.
And down bottom lane, the matchup extremely even. Both AD carries backing at pretty much the same time for their BF swords. So both of them going to go with the Infinity Edge later game scaling builds for the teams. And both teams fairly content actually here in the early game. Have to say, TSM should probably feel really strong about the way that this is going. They've actually got the opportunity now for TF with a giant lead to make some moves on the map. Because Bjergsen is at the point where he can start shoving the wave in and then roaming, looking for that gank. Voyboy has done the smart thing though and placed that ward in the mid lane. Yeah, he gets it. Don't worry about it.
Saw aggro it down.
Plenty of mines on the ground. He's done the smart thing though, warding this mid lane so he can see which side of the lane Bjergsen is leaking towards and call it out to his teammates.
Look at that though. Vision not even going to matter too much for these guys. Curse is completely controlling it, and there's the dragon coming through. Nicely done.
They needed that, honestly.
Yeah, because puts them in gold parity.
Yeah, being down in gold to this Jax TF combo from TSM, not exactly the way they wanted the early game to go. However, taking the early dragon, strong for Curse. See if they can make something happen in that mid game.
Both junglers up here. There's a chance for a play to be made. 12,000 each. Amazing. Gets spotted by Dominate.
Barely able to get.
So they look for the dive, but this counter gank is going to be brutal. TF already cheating over. Bjergsen wants this.
3 members. They're going to have to use the repel to dodge tower aggro because this might go south quick. See how Dyrus is able to counter-strike. Can he stun both players?
Here's the attempt. TF ulti using. They're like, hey, there's a person here. 3-on-3 is going to happen. Here we go. Ulti pops as well. And it's a whole bunch of damage. Dominate forced to get away from this one, but goes back into range.
Goes back
here
to the
comes Amazing. They get the kill. Dominate gets traded back, but now Bjergsen's got to be careful. There comes Ziggs. Misses the Q. Quas picks it up for the double kill. And now Dyrus forced to get the heck away from that one. 2-1. Curse. Nicely done.
Yeah, not only did they get the 2-for-1, they forced the teleport there from Dyrus as well. Really, really strong answer from Curse. They saw that one coming a mile away. Voyboy gets his ulti down. And Dominate, cheating right back into turret range, was really big for them. That caused the overcommitment from Bjergsen, using both summoners and just trading kills. Double buffs there. I think Quas ended up with them on Renekton.
Yeah.
Now that's going to get real painful for Dyrus there in the top lane. He was having a great Jax versus Renekton early game. And now, because the team wanted to force something up there, it's kind of all gone down the drain.
I'm surprised they even went for it. They saw Evelyn. They knew Curse knew about it with the fact that the E was right there waiting under the turret. Still pulled the trigger. And I mean, beautiful stuff by Curse overall. That's going to be nice for these guys. Trying to claw their way back into a good standing in the regular season. TSM now down 1,000 gold from some great plays. Let's see what else these guys can do with this one. They've got another minute and a half until TF can do something.
Yeah, Quas with not only the double bust, but completed Tiamat now. Zoning out Dyrus.
It's going to be hard for Dyrus to get out. No flash. Minion waves coming in the next 10 seconds.
Barely gets into that bush.
Okay, well, he's got a way out right now, so they can't gank just yet until the casters pass Dyrus by.
Yeah, you got to always watch the minion line.
He's got a ward too, though.
When ganking somebody like that. Yeah. Now that Dyrus has seen that none of these Curse minions are going to go down to the TSM minion wave, he can back off safely without even losing any experience there. Yeah. Good safe call by him.
Good stuff so far by these guys. Dyrus comes back into lane in time. Evelyn's still waiting around. Dominate with the pink ward down there. Looks like no dive available. Quas is winning the damage trades. Dyrus down to half HP right now.
Yeah, as you can see, that's one of the big reasons why Renekton so heavily wins this matchup. His W active, empowering his attack to go straight through Counter-Strike, and you can even get off of Q. Just completely unanswered harass right there.
Voyboy did not have the best start to this mid lane. Bjergsen was actually beating him by 15 minions or so, but that has turned right back around. Voyboy's holding nicely here. Athene's already done, though, if you're Bjergsen. Not yet for Voy, though.
Amazing with another half-hearted gank here. Coming through the bush. Not able to get anything out of Voyboy. Even the satchel charge this time. Yeah. I mean, a lot of those Elise ganks, people will go all the way around and come from the upper side of that ledge to try and get off that long-range cocoon from the Fog of War.
Yeah.
No go, though.
And here's the interesting thing is actually Curse is better set up to snowball farther ahead. Dominate finished his gold generation item before Amazing, so he's getting gold off of Conservation Blizzard Elder. Xpecial with the Frost Fang. Matched the Sightstone already, just gets more gold generation than a Relic Shield here. And so like just the laning phase actually is just nice for Curse here. It's a bit of a slower game, still going to be nice for these guys. Dyrus wanted a beta fight, can't do it. He's going to stay in the lane for a bit longer. They're still within 3 minions, though, and the buffs have timed out. So aside from the double kill, that hasn't made the lane go any worse. That goal just sitting there not meaning anything, really.
I think it's just, you know, once again, another testament to Dyrus in this matchup. However, going aggressive here. Now he's tipped off.
Well, he's not no flash for another minute, though. Can't quite set up the dive just yet, but Elise still not around. Curse don't know about that, though. Ulti's up for Dominate. Quas basically full fury here. They could probably one-shot Dyrus. His teleport up right about now, so we could TP. He could get back, heal up. Oh, can't land the stun. That would have been the opportunity right there.
Also, Evelyn showing on the map. That's a big no-no there for Curse. With Dominate getting nothing done in that top lane. The CS lead slowly growing for Turtle down bottom. Now they know that they're safe. They can continue to press all the way up to this turret in the bottom. Make use of Caitlyn's bullying. And he's got just flat damage so far. With these buys, the BF Sword and the Pickaxe, it's a fairly strong early game here for WildTurtle. Hasn't had to invest in early crit yet. Pretty soon, though.
Yeah. He's basically on the same sort of damage route that like a Bloodthirster would have. He's basically buying just straight AD, so that lane hasn't gone anywhere. Voyboy back to his blue buff, 11 minutes in. Bjergsen's already got his. Pretty mirrored here for these guys. Athene's build's coming through. Voy staying all right. Amazing going to try to sweep some wards away. He wants the ganks, but he can't find them here. So we're really just playing Dragon to Dragon, which has just respawned. And look at that, TSM looking for ward coverage. Pink ward could be killed. Walks into that one.
Can't get any more hits, and Voyboy wins the ward wars. Now, TSM, I think they should be fairly content to counter Curse's moves. They should just play it carefully, not try and force anything again. Last time they tried to force something, it blew up in their faces. That explosion was not too big, though. They still are sitting fairly good here, as they're the ones who do have that Jax and Caitlyn.
As long as they don't feed Ziggs too much, explosions will be manageable. Dyrus pushes up to the wave, to the turret rather. Quas gonna clear this with a Q. So graceful. Spins around, nice little pirouette. Ballerina Renekton. Would you play that skin?
Renekton in a 2-2?
Yeah, why not? Oh, he's 2-0 right now, but you know. Quas up a level right now in the matchup. TSM, though, the bot lane still doing well. Binding's gonna hit WildTurtle. Gonna hide in the brush, though. Stay safe in this one. Turret does go down. TSM's hard work finally pays off down there. And first stone goes over to TSM now. Gold back to equal. Dragon still up. No one trying to contest it just yet. Pink ward getting removed. They gotta be careful.
Yeah, defending it here, coming over TSM. They do have the Twisted Fate ultimate available for them as well. Both teleports. So either top laner could join or stop their opponent from joining. Really surprised actually by the defensive play from Curse. I mean, they set up the defensive pink ward line, and they've been playing very, very slowly here.
It's weird because both
with
teams.
With Renekton.
Yeah, it's like both teams have this X factor that makes you scared. It's like, okay, be careful because Evelyn's around. Okay, fair point. Eve could show up and that could ruin your day. We actually saw that earlier on in the game. Also, careful TF's in the game. He could show up at any point. You got to be careful. But as you mentioned, Jax vs Renekton, really rough matchup. He's gonna get outscaled. Dyrus already doing awesome, actually winning in CS against a 2-0 Renekton.
One thing too, I'm very curious if Dyrus will actually go one offensive item into tank stats. There was something else that he was talking about enjoying on Jax. Trinity Force is definitely the more tanky of the two offensive items. So even just starting that, he will be a pretty strong force in the early Dragon fight if one does break out down there. As it looks like this fight over vision around Dragon is heating up slowly.
Definitely playing for it right here. Quas and Dyrus still just jockeying back and forth for position on these minions. Dyrus gets one, but takes 500 damage for it. But there's a TF ulti. They want this one. Stun's gonna land. There's a gold card as well. Quas, can he get out? There's the dash. There's the dash again. Bjergsen ghosts. Flash traded. There's Dominate. There's hooked up. And down he goes. Not in the right spot. Ulti was not enough to save him. TSM find that kill.
So vision from Bjergsen's ulti. Probably helping in that mid lane to spot out Dominate. We might need to get a look to see what happened down there, but Bjergsen moves up top, so it actually, they get turret damage up there. And the kill down mid means they have really complete control of the map here. See if they can start getting these perimeter turrets down. They've already got the bottom one. It would really quickly snowball in their favor. Yeah, the ulti from TF and Dominate just going for a run right across the mid lane there. It was like a duck hunt game.
Yeah.
And even though the first skill shot missed.
Ooh, stun lands on a Void though. Nice flash away from Dyrus as well, but now Bjergsen's in the wrong spot. No summoners up at all.
Flash.
Can they get him? Gold cut on a Quas. Oh, that was not the best minefield. There's the flash.
Yeah, burned his ghost earlier,
yeah.
But able to rely on that flash. Mid lane answer here from Curse.
Nice.
See if they can actually control some jungle camps off that. They already have a pretty weak invade here to get the pink ward.
Yeah. They might have just seen WildTurtle recall in that bottom lane as well. Curse could know they've got a few slim seconds.
Well, they know for sure that the TF ulti is still down.
Yeah. Sweepers, there's no vision around Baron. Dragon either. And they've kept the ward control pretty decently. Oh wait, they missed that one. Okay, they don't know. They think they know.
Well, everybody's here for sure now. 5v5. Maybe we do get to see the action when these two teams collide around the dragon.
TSM pushing mid, though, which means that turret's under siege, basically, by minions. Hook comes out, does not quite Dominate. Smite fight versus Elise is going to be hard. Nicely picked up there by IWillDominate. There's the flash ulti from Xpecial. Here comes Quas as well. They lock up Gleeb. Flays two backwards. Cocoon misses. Gleeb taking more damage. Ziggs ulti picks up the kill, but Dyrus turns one back to Dominate. 1 for 1 so far. Dyrus forced to run away. Both teams disengage.
Yeah, Gleeb's box was down from that last mid fight too. Dragon going over to Curse though. Able to get some more global gold and bring that back to even. But TSM not wanting to give up the pressure here. Dyrus goes for the red steal. He's definitely going to be found out.
Xpecial sees that. He's got wards, I'm sure. I'm a jungle. Cop land on the law, making sure he gets out. No trespassing allowed, Dyrus.
Let's see how they try and force this one. Dominate does get the good smite time. That was pretty much just all him, because Turtle was the one with the peacemaker there. Couple of moves to get out of Xpecial's lockdown, but Dyrus kills Dominate in the back line. And then he's able to just walk his way out of the team, as Cop actually took that ace in the hole, half of his life. Trinity Force has been completed for Jax. He's pretty happy about that. Meanwhile, Quas, though, he's also got Sunfire and Tiamat, so he can still hold his own, and we haven't reached that point where he's going to start getting bullied.
Well, you mentioned the Dyrus build, though. He is going towards Cutlass here. Vampsifter picked up as well, so looks like no tank stats just yet for Dyrus, or no further ones outside of Phage. He's going to keep on scaling offensively. Mid lane, taking a lot of damage. Yeah, there's not a lot of ways in, but they're going to go for the back door anyway. Turret does go down. Nicely done, TSM. They put themselves back 500 gold in the lead. These guys trading very close back and forth.
Yeah. Very standard game going off here. The standard lanes into just dragon fights really determining the big difference in gold, which is a whopping 400 after all is said and done. TF number 3. This time, he pulls back after seeing 3 members top.
Pushing on in though, Quas got to be careful, does not have any summoners back up. Bjergsen trying to get him with the ghost, gets the gold cut, gets the cocoon, and the kill is picked up. Ziggs ulti doesn't mean much. Dyrus gets out. TSM find themselves another way in. Gold lead 400.
All the perimeter turrets being down means that Bjergsen has so much territory to work with here, even though he was looking up top, heading that way. As soon as he pops the ultimate and gets all the information on Curse, easily able to switch gears and go over for Quas here. Pulls back.
Goes forward.
Yeah, he walks back, uses the TF ulti to gain distance, and then Ghost to close it. Good CC there from both TSM.
Who walks forward on a TF ult though? That just really surprised me.
Renekton.
Yeah, saw how that worked out for him.
With no backup. TSM are also able to get plenty of wards down in that blue side jungle for Curse.
And Zonius is done.
Controlling the blue buff against Ziggs in the late game is paramount when you're trying to finish something off. Everyone always complains about the wave clear of Ziggs. With that blue buff he's sitting on, so they don't want to let him get any more.
Yeah, well, they can hold him down. The wave clear easy for Bjergsen as well. He one-shots caster minions now. It's always a good ability power break point when you know it's even easier to kill all the minions away. Level 14 on him, so wild cards and pick a guard maxed out.
And Shiv after IE for both AD carries. Now I really, really like it on Lucian, just because of the double shot working to charge it up, and with Lucian's speed as well as his dash. He works really well with that Infinity Edge, but it also, even for WildTurtle here, provides more wave clear for both teams. And that's really what this game is about, because TSM's comp is so much about split pushing and pushing waves very quickly. Extra wave clear from any source is going to help out these teams. Both of them trying to get as much as possible.
One thing I do like about Caitlyn buying it as well is, even in terms of just the raw, like, dealing damage in a team fight sort of situations, because Caitlyn's attack speed has no way of being buffed outside of base stats and items, you have more time to walk between attacks compared to like a Tristana, which means you have more time to charge up based on movement, so you actually get more lightning per attack than most other AD carries. Increases the value of Shiv a little bit.
Not as much as Lucian.
Okay, no, but I'm just saying, she also has this cool synergy. I was backing you up.
Okay.
Another reason why it's good.
Cutlass completed as well for Quas, or for Dyrus. Yeah, go team.
Go team.
Team Shiv. Quas in the bush.
Dyrus in the middle of the lane, taking a bunch of damage here, but doesn't seem too afraid. Happy to keep pushing anyway. 26 health per basic attack there is his sustain right now. Doing pretty well. Bjergsen still wave clearing as well. TSM still happy to play it nice and slow and say, if you ever step up in the wrong spot, TF will be there.
Bjergsen will be there for you. Really, I don't know. This Curse play, I feel like I thought coming into this they were going to be making some more aggressive moves, especially since TSM are the team that's 2-0 versus Curse right now. TSM are the team that feel comfortable in this matchup. Like if they play it out standard, then they're going to come out on top. Yeah. And Curse, I thought, would be feeling more pressure to create something out of the ordinary. Has not been the case, though. They opted into these standard lanes, just playing out the matchups. Fairly content to have the slow early and even slow mid game here.
Yeah.
All the really intense fights have been around this dragon. We'll see if this dragon is the same, because it comes back up and Bjergsen just got blue. See if Bjergsen can make it down there. Ultimate is available.
Jungler reveals himself. Bot lane turret is actually the only outer to remain up.
Mid lane is getting pushed by minions, though. TSM have a choice here. They could push mid. They decide to give up that minion wave and contest this dragon.
Jungler's not nearby. This could be a quick one picked up. There we go. Second dragon in a row for Curse. IWillDominate secures it. No mid lane push just yet, but they've got to get back. They've got to worry about the pushes that could happen. But Curse must take the long way around. Mid tier 2 could fall.
Yeah, they still have control of that mid. Ziggs bomb, able to clear out most of the waves.
They don't go for it. All right, so nicely done then. Voyboy, because he's Ziggs, because he has that ulti, he allows his team to go for a dragon and not lose a turret for it.
Yeah, but because TSM were pressuring mid, they also allowed Dyrus to get even more farm on that Jax. And he was able to push it all the way up to the turret. So every little move here for TSM, getting small wins for the team.
So far, so good. But the top lane now under fire. Curse not there just in time. Down to half HP it goes. But the static shift wave clear comes out. Finding on a Gleeb doesn't mean too much.
And another small win for TSM. They are the ones who make the first rotation up to top. They get a little bit of damage on it. Shove the minions into the turret.
But the dragon control is putting Curse in a better spot. They actually took the gold lead back. We saw that graph about a minute ago of the gold leads. It caps at like 1K per team because they keep going back and forth. Curse's way in is so far dragon control. TSM, like both teams playing hyper passive. If you don't go in on the dragon, the fact that Curse just went for it means they're getting that gold every time.
Yep, they have eked out a little lead. And their team fight is strong. It just seems like TSM have way more options in this game. they have so many options as far as split pushing. They can just keep that Caitlyn in mid and wave clear pretty much forever. As long as Bjergsen with his flash ghost is able to avoid getting caught, he can create a lot of pressure and allow Dyrus to scale up by having solo lane farm. Looks like they do a 3-1-1 instead, keeping Bjergsen mid instead. Now it's pretty much up to Gleeb for the disengage on his Thresh. 4 men moving in from Curse. Bjergsen will collapse if they engage.
They could get surrounded here.
Created a 4 versus 4 though. It would really at best for Curse just turn into an even fight and them having to charge in through Thresh and Elise. So TSM using the extra mobility fairly well so far. Pressuring all lanes up to these secondary turrets.
And interestingly also, Bjergsen is itemizing towards a turret-killing build. Lichbane third here, no Void Staff, no Death Cap.
He's got the all-important Zhonya, so...
Yeah, he's got that for team fighting, but then instead of being bursty on champions, he's doing bursty on turrets.
Distortion upgrade as well already, so it'll be easier for him to stay slippery. Extra move speed after flash, after extra speed from Ghost. Lower cooldowns. And again, the base from Sheen, just getting Sheen is a pretty big bonus. The upgrade for Lichbane, yes, it's great, but it's not that massive until you get a death cap as well.
There we go. Down goes the double golems. Looks like TSM happy just to say, we're going to control your jungle, get our gold lead that way. 600 gold lead because of it.
And Curse also really, I feel like they're just waiting for TSM to make another move like they did in the early game and try and make them pay for it because they have a Black Shield and they have a Mikhail's. So if Bjergsen comes in and he tries to get one of those stuns, Xpecial is able to counter it with either of those, Black Shield or a Mikhail's, then they can look to turn around a fight. Morgana as a support is much stronger when the enemy are engaging on you because you don't have that Zhonya's. Like, you can't just splash in and Zhonya's after your ult. You're much more squishy.
Yeah.
And she's much better used as disengage. Whoa! It's actually TSM who are collapsing on Curse this time around.
Oh, they gotta be real careful. TF ulti comes in. They can't quite find Xpecial.
Black
Shield is down though. Here they come in. Quas makes his way. There goes Gleeb, half HP. Amazing forced out by Cop. And the fight continues. Gleeb still taking damage. Dominate flashes in towards Turtle. Gold card comes out, but the Ziggs bombs do enough. And Curse find 2 in the river.
It looks like TSM were getting the pincer off, but really Curse bring in the teleport from Quas and they completely zone out the 3-man squad of TSM. The damage, Turtle and Bjergsen both get zoned here by Quas. And a big pickup for Curse, finally making their move. Actually, it was again TSM making the move and Curse reacting to it. Curse have really not been the ones starting off the plays. It was another good reaction from Curse though. Now is the first real offensive call that they've made. After that pickup, getting this Baron within Fog of War, it's going to be dangerous for Dyrus. Face check.
1,000 health, it's going to go down before he's in smite range. There we go, Nasher picked up. Dyrus forced away. Xpecial takes a stun. He's got to be careful, but he survives. Amazing forced away on top of a ward. Takes some bombs. Yeah, he's got to get out of this one. So Curse finally get their way in that mid-game fight, and they hold a 2,000 gold lead now.
So the patience pays off for Curse. You know, they play the patient game. 2 times TSM have made moves. 2 times TSM have been penalized for going for those moves. And all the while, Curse are passively increasing that global gold through dragon control. So really, they have had a fairly good handle on this game.
And for what it's worth, we talk about Jax having to be held down by Renekton, how hard the split push is going to be. I haven't seen Dyrus claim much of anything by himself. He's gotten farm. He's prevented from getting killed. He's maybe set up a kill for TF a couple of times, but he's not actually creating pressure that's really requiring attention from Curse. I haven't seen him create these openings that allows TSM to do something.
Yeah, he really just hit a pretty big spike, though, with the double offensive items. In teamfights, though, those don't do that much for him because he's got to work through the minefield from Voyboy. And as we said, Morgana disengage. Curse are actually with this Baron buff. Oh! Not able to steal it away. Dominate again. He's been so quick with his smites. Hasn't let anything go to TSM.
Very beautiful stuff with this guy. Now 3,500 gold lead. Curse still have more than 2 minutes worth of Baron. We've seen them play a slow objective control game so far. Xpecial wanted to have a bigger voice in the team ever since joining Curse and leaving TSM. Gotta imagine he's a voice here with this one. Figuring out how you beat TSM. Keep your friends close, enemies closer. His new enemies are close to him for a while.
And one of the things that he, as well as the rest of Curse, were talking about and were worried about were those mistakes that they would make when they would go for those mid-game calls. So it looks like their answer was, don't make calls and just play reactively. Yes, they've controlled the dragons, but outside of that, some good reactive play.
Is Cop buying 2 Infinity Edges?
Could be 2 pieces, and he just makes one of them into Last Whisper, and then BF Sword into Bloodthirster or Mercurial.
In terms of the math on the item,
I doubt it's going to be a double Infinity Edge, but it would be interesting to see.
I've done it before. It's reasonably gold efficient.
The split push, though, this standoff is very interesting because
a
lot of wave clear for both teams, as we said. Static Shiv on Turtle is definitely paying off here.
Look at that by Dyrus, finally going in for an aggressive play, and he's going to by himself take down the bottom inhibitor turret and the inhibitor itself. Curse don't get anything from their mid lane push, anything of value. Dyrus walks away easily.
There you go, Dyrus creating for himself. And he has also started to go tanky here, as expected for Jax after the main 2 items.
Randuin's up next for the guy. It's going to be really hard for Renekton to kill him at that point. Banshee's Veil for Quas does not help much against Jax. He's about 80% physical at this point in the build.
Are you going to give him a badge or something? Cop got it. Double Infinity Edge build.
Woo! All right.
That deserves some sort of award, actually.
That is 70% crit and 160 bonus damage. The guy's going to shoot with a lot of damage.
I feel like Cop is playing the wrong character. That is a very Draven move right there. To go double Infinity Edge after your Static Shiv.
Hey man, he's just channeling his inner Buzz Lightyear. To infinity and beyond.
That one was actually decent.
Thank you. 0-0-1 Cop.
Oh man.
Chilling for now. Gonna need a Last Whisper next.
That is brutal right here from Lucian.
That'd be much cheaper, actually.
It would be. 2 brutalizers?
Yeah.
Much cheaper.
Less synergy. More unique passes.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you know Infinity plus Infinity is still Infinity?
I did, Freak.
Yep.
I did. All right. Let's see what they can do with these double Infinity Edges. I want to see how big of a crit Cop actually gets. He's got a long ways to go still. He can add a lot more AD onto this. So, critical strikes, they scale multiplicatively with your damage. At the beginning, crit is a very bad stat to get because you have low damage.
Yeah.
Maybe you have, what, 70-something damage. So buying 1% of crit is 1% chance to deal 70% damage.
Yeah.
As you get more, though, you get 200 damage, then your percent crit is a chance to deal 200. Increases in value over the life of the game. And with those Infinity Edges, yes, I guess we do have to reiterate for everybody. There's no bug right now. There's no change that's been made. Infinity Edge passive is still unique. So he's only buying the second one for extra damage and extra crit percentage.
It is reasonably gold efficient, to be fair.
Yeah, it is, because you do get the extra damage. And Cop has been receiving a lot of criticism for not being aggressive enough. So he says, hey, I'm just going to go 100% offensive build. I'm not building a Mercurial. That's a defensive item. I'm not building a Bloodthirster. That's a wussy defensive item as far as I'm concerned.
What happens if he buys a PD last? He's 100% crit. That'd be awesome. I hope he does it. Then I'd Last Whisper and just I kill everything all the time. It'd be great.
All right, well, 40 seconds left in the Baron timer here, so things may get interesting again, as the inhibitor will probably come up at a similar time, and they may just want to send Dyrus back down to the bottom side. the choice really gets much harder for Curse at this point since the inhibitor turret is already gone. Dyrus can take that inhibitor very quickly.
True.
And then join the fight around Baron. So even though Curse have the gold lead, and even though Curse have 2 Infinity Edges on Cop, TSM still with more tools as far as the strategy is concerned.
Heck, Curse last week teleported a Jax to the base during a push and took down a Nexus turret and almost the game by himself. And that was Quas.
They did indeed.
They know all too well.
Hey, Freak, we got a third pickaxe here.
Last Whisper.
What's your money on
Last
the third
Whisper.
Infinity?
Nah, there's no way it should be Last
What
Whisper
odds
right now.
would you give me on that?
I give you like 3 to 1.
Only 3?
I mean, he already bought 2, right? Like the chances are higher than before.
All right, now Quas says, hey, I can split push 2, man. Renekton down here with the Sunfire Cape and the Tiamat clear. Finally going to get the last perimeter turret. Let's see if he does get collapsed on by TSM. They are going to be attracted by Dragon, though. Let's see if it's enough to lure them away.
When TSM goes away, Curse are going to look at Baron right now. It's up. They could get ward control. Dragon will go down rapidly. Dyrus and WildTurtle duo that one. Gold for the team.
Not even time to clear that pink ward there for Curse. They get zilch out of it because Quas was very scared split pushing down there. He had no wards to go for that split push. Curse very, very thin on vision thus far. They've been struggling to keep it up. Pretty much all they've been able to keep up are their pink wards. Scrying orbs back in the game though for both AD carries, of course.
Normal build. Too bad the yellow trinkets are yellow instead of white, because then you'd have very thematic 4th of July trinkets. But that only worked, you know, for a small percentage of the players, a small percentage of the time. But it'd be cool either way. TSM. You know, if you combine the nameplates, the health bars, Cursor, red, like Voyboy's red, white, and blue right there.
Okay, here we go. Disengage. Can they get it? Black Shield already used.
There's a jump over the wall as well. Gold card used to stop down Renekton. TSM does get out safely, but now Curse owns vision over the Baron area. TSM very far away. TF ulti used to spot this, but they're still going to take a few seconds to get there.
Caitlyn actually goes all the way back to base. There was no vision for Curse, though. They don't know that Turtle went all the way back to base.
And look at this by Dyrus, just pushing mid instead.
Great pressure. They're basically bluffing for Turtle to get his purchase off. Now he's got that 4-item Caitlyn. Going to be a big help if the fight does break out.
Kill the spider.
Oh, the babies. It's a massacre.
5 gold. The slow special. All right, out he goes. More CS goes in for Dominate, though.
Dyrus goes in. Going to draw somebody back here. Quas does have his teleport as well. Dyrus doesn't want to risk going too deep.
He's playing incredibly defensively here. Now he goes in for this one. It's going to pull Quas over. Both have TP. Thornmail.
Dyrus has red buff, though. He can just bully Quas.
I think he could ignore. No, he actually goes. I'm surprised he's actually fighting Quas, but he is pushing him away. Now the inhibitor down at half HP. Quas cannot win this fight. Has to back off. And there we go. Inhibitor goes back for TSM.
Yep. Still, even though there's gold in favor of Curse, way more options for TSM. They have the leverage. Dyrus on Jax. Too strong right now. Able to create pressure for them. I want to check it out on the gold, actually, here in that matchup. Because even though overall the team, Curse has more gold, Jax Dyrus has almost as much as Quas. At 200, that's not going to make a difference here. In the 1 versus 1. That's not going to manifest itself in any sort of item difference between the two. And since Jax definitely, as we go over every single time, has the upper hand in scaling, as far as those two are concerned, TSM have the big upper hand. So if TSM can create scenarios where they isolate Jax with Renekton, those are perfect for them.
To be honest, the only guy with a real gold lead as far as just cash is concerned is Xpecial. The Spell Thief and a Frostfang just worth more than the Relic Shield here. In fact, Gleeb went ahead and sold it, went for the Talisman of Ascension now, so he's got 2 to 3 very powerful actives on himself.
Right. Even though Xpecial has the biggest gold lead, the items do not tell that story. The key items are here for Gleeb. He's got the main actives for his team. As long as he can speed boost, he can Mikhail somebody, and he's got enough wards. He's definitely doing his job.
I'm actually surprised Xpecial bought a Chain Vest to go for like a Randuin's as opposed to going for a Zhonya's. Dyrus takes some damage. Quas has to get out, though. Anything longer than 2 seconds in a fight, and it's going to go poorly. Banshee soon for Dyrus. Hook. Gonna land Xpecial.
Good shield.
Doesn't go.
Whoa, look at that juke from Gleeb. Dodges the bouncing bomb.
There comes Dominate, though, wants to fight. Gleeb gonna hook on in. Here comes the fight. Dyrus joins Black Shield on the frontliner here, and there's Quas as well. Can they get into this fight? Turtle's gonna get away pretty safely. 4 items for both AD carries.
Both teleports. This bottom lane, though, is shoving for TSM. That bottom lane will take out an or a Nexus turret by itself. Curse have to choose. Do we want to give up this Nexus turret, or do we want to contest Baron? Beautiful manipulation here by TSM. They babysit that double super minion wave long enough, and it does take the Nexus turret, plus they have control over the Baron
already
pit.
Dead. Look at that one.
What
TSM
a beautiful maneuver
got everything.
from TSM.
They got the kill as well. Xpecial. The Flash Cocoon not going to land, but here comes Twisted Fate. What's Bjergsen going to look for? Looks like nothing just yet, but there's the flash in. They pick up Comp. Now Dominate forced to run away, but TSM crushed that.
Yeah, that's pretty much the entire story here for the rest of the game.
WildTurtle
going in.
Quas takes it away, but still 2 kills. And now the turret's going to follow suit as well. Curse still stuck in their base, stopping minions from the bottom lane that Dyrus earned them. Mid inhibitor going down as well. 40 seconds until Cop respawns. TSM can keep going forward. Another wave coming in right now down the bottom side. Minions already in the mid. 1 Nexus turret alive. TSM want to make their way into the #1 spot if they can. And here they go. Quas gonna take damage. The stun comes in. Dyrus gets the kill for Bjergsen. Now Dominate running away as fast as he can, but not enough cards cut him in the back of the head. And now these Ziggs not gonna be enough. 44 minutes in, only 8 kills, but it's enough for TSM to win the game. Congratulations. One Super Week.
TSM knew that they didn't have to overextend for kills. They didn't have to push it too hard. They had so many more options for ending out the game with TF and Jax late. With the ability of Dyrus coming out in that Renekton-Jax matchup, even for the beginning of the game, really gave them so much leverage. Even down in Global Gold did not matter at all. It's all about the map positioning and the pressure they could create with that bottom lane. They manipulated it so well in the end there, sending the double super minion wave into the Nexus turret right when they were able to force a fight mid. Gleeb came up huge.
Yeah, he
securing the slow and then hook onto Dominate to force all of Curse into the mid lane and open up that window for the super minion wave to push in. Yeah. Really, really well played by TSM.
But how lost does Curse look then? In that they know the bot lane's pushing in. Everyone's seen that play before. Oh, bot inhibitor's dead. Guys, there's a Baron play with those 2 super minions down there. Tried and true every single game you're going to see this happen. Misplayed around it, got caught in the mid lane. They got caught and gave up kills afterwards by like limping back in towards the Baron pit. Like very, very strange play by them to do that. They got their own Baron 10 minutes ago. Did almost nothing with it. Sat there on a 3,000 gold lead, even gave up the dragon that came up afterwards. Curse just did not look, they were trying to press any kind of advantage. TSM did a great job with their comp, of course. Dyrus definitely pulled his weight though.
Yeah, he did. From minute 1, he had a very strong performance. Curse were able to make a couple of good moves after a TSM aggression and capitalize on it. Yeah. But those small wins, not really able to turn that into much. You know, Dragon Control was good.